Broadcasting from an undisclosed location under a farm pond somewhere in the Midwest. Your host is Jim Crowley. This is Slickfish Radio. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Slickfish Radio. And now people start calling me. Wouldn't you know it? Hey, let's put this thing on silent. There we go. That way I can bother them later when they're doing something. Hey, so glad you guys are here tonight. Thank you for joining us. Already a bunch of people jumping on. Please feel free to have any comments. As I always say, we wouldn't have a show without all of you. God bless you. I sure appreciate you being here. Hey, a couple announcements I have for you. I am actually going to be in LaGrange, Illinois next weekend, the 13th, October 13th, at the Riverside Fishing Club. And we're going to talk about making lures, making rods, going to go over a couple walleye techniques they wanted to talk about. But we're going to go over rod making and some other stuff. And Riverside Fishing Club, I've been there before, just an absolutely great bunch of guys. If you're in the LaGrange area, please stop by the Riverside Fishing Club. I think it's next Thursday night. Next Thursday night, the 13th. So stop by there and be great to see you, especially if I haven't met you in person before. Would love to meet you. Also, if some of you have been seeing some of the video work we've been doing out this week, we've got some new products coming out from Lure Parts Online, and it's called Crunch, and it's 6 cents, and it's going to be able to be added to any plastic. And it can actually impregnate in the plastic, and then you have scented bait. So you can mix the scents, you can match them, you can do whatever you want. But now, not only can you make your own plastics from Lure Parts Online, but now you can scent them your own way. So there's going to be some more cool stuff that we got. I was just doing some product testing this week, finalizing some stuff and doing some video work. So we got some exciting stuff coming out. In a couple minutes, we're going to bring on our guest, Kyle Peterson. He is a field producer for Wired2Fish. If you don't know what Wired2Fish is, get out from under the rock. Oh, my God, they're the biggest media source on the planet. Bunch of great guys, and really excited to talk to Kyle about some of the stuff that he's seen behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. So first of all, I want to thank our sponsors, American Tackle. Thank God a lot of my buddies there were safe from the horrible hurricane in Florida. I did have some friends that were highly affected by it. So please continue to pray for the people in Florida each day, because those people in Southern Florida are going to have a long haul back. But they're strong. They're from Florida. They're going to do great. Just please keep praying for them. My friends at Explore Lacrosse, I'm heading back up there later this week. It's really hard for me to not go back to lacrosse when the smallmouth get like they're going right now. I have to go back. So I'll be there sometime this weekend. We'll be doing some fun stuff with them. Also, Shields in Springfield. I stopped by there again this week. I want to thank everybody at Shields. Great service department, great people, and they are stocked up for fall. So whether you're fishing, getting ready for ice fishing, or hunting, make sure you check out our friends over at Shields in Springfield, Illinois. And of course, we are powered by Dakota Lithium. All those great folks help bring us a show to each and every week. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Mr. Kyle Peterson. How you doing, sir?
Doing well, thank you.
Great. And you look like you're just about, we're thinking about fishing all the time, but we're also ready for duck hunting, buddy. And I know we were laughing about this before the show, but yeah, it just gets to you, doesn't it?
That cold weather coming down the pipe, it kind of changes things a little bit. I go from wanting to catch fish, and then that cold weather comes in, and I kind of start feeling a little bloody.
Yeah, I start talking to my shotgun and making sure my waders still fit, and you're talking with your lab. You said, and it's all that you can't make a move in the house. We got Elizabeth Howard just turned around. She goes, "Where do I get the stars?" Well, thanks for wanting to send me stars, Elizabeth. I don't know. Since on this end, I don't see nothing. So, but if you can find some, please send them. That would be great. And thank you for joining us. So Kyle, I want to talk to you about so much fun stuff, man. I mean, your not to make you embarrassed, but your resume is pretty awesome. You worked for Linder Media for a long time, and as far as I'm concerned, some of the best editors and producers in the business. And then you went over to Wired2Fish, which again, it was basically just across the board. You're getting all kinds of great experience, and the work that I've seen, the articles that I've read that you've put out there. You put out some awesome stuff, man. I mean, I really like reading your stuff. I like seeing it when I know it's by you. And now that we get to talk to you, tell us a little bit about how you got into this, and then how did it happen that you worked for Linder Media? Just how'd you get started?
Oh goodness, that's
A loaded question.
That's a long story, but I'll try and sum it up. I've got a good friend of mine, Bart Taylor. He's just a longtime family friend. He really got me into it. He had another friend of his, Chad Cool. Like I said, I'll try and keep this short and sweet, but one thing led to another, and I kind of had a little interview with Chad Cool, and he goes, "Pack your bags. We're heading to Devil's Lake, South Dakota next." And I was right out of high school, pretty much, and I'm like, "All right, let's go." So we headed off, and that kind of kicked it off. That was a FLW walleye tournament that we had been covering for a few years, and that was kind of through the Linders, and Chad had used to work for Ian Fisherman back in the day, and so it kind of it just sort of escalated.
And that's really cool. I actually just got a guy, Mark Dyer, just came on here. He goes, "I love Kyle's videos, especially muskie videos." And Ed Riddle chimed in. He said, "Hey, I'm here, Jimmy Fish. Interesting show." Well, Ed, we're just getting started, so hang around. So glad to see you got great. He said, "Hey, Mark Dyer said you've got great short informational videos to learn from." So you got a fan on there, Kyle, right?
I appreciate each and every one of them.
I do too. When somebody says, "Hey, I love your show," and I'm like, "Great, that's like you and my wife," and she doesn't even watch most of the time. So I'm glad when everybody takes their time to come watch us. Now, I know throughout the years, especially working with the Linders, I'm sure there's just a bunch of knowledge that you gained. I mean, they basic were the ones who started putting all that. I mean, I know there's others. There's Jerry McInnes. There's a ton of others, and we could go back through the Hall of Fame of fishing of great editors and producers. But the Linders were the kind of ones who I feel put it into a format. And so, my goodness, you couldn't learn from a better crew. And knowing just from the short time of talking to you, I'm sure you're still friends with a lot of them, because this business, people think it's big. It is, but it's also very small. And we're usually a person or two away from knowing one another. Isn't that true?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, Mike Hayner and I just saw Al the other day, and James and Dan and the whole crew over there. Jeremy, I used to live with Jeremy Smith. So I mean, I learned I learned a ton of information. I mean, we had nights in the garage making lures and just doing all kinds of stuff, and between muskie fishing and just trying to build a better mousetrap, and
sure,
between all those guys, and then you'd mentioned underwater photography. Bill Linder, first guy that comes to mind.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I learned a lot from him, and just that whole crew is great.
I think Bill was one of the first ones that actually they made like the indoor fish tanks and things like that, where they would give video and stuff like that. And I remember watching back over those old videos and going, you know what, that was groundbreaking. That was groundbreaking stuff at the time. And then just to see everything that's developed into. And I think it's so cool that you're part of that. And, I was talking to Terry Brown a couple of weeks ago, and, going through the things, I remember when he started Bass Fan with a couple guys, and then, they went over to Wired2Fish and talking with Todd Hamill and just seeing him down at ICAST and things like that, and how everything like this is so evolved to where now you guys are without question putting out the best information out there that people can see on a consistent basis. And and people ask me sometimes, they're like, well, how did you come up with this, or how'd you come up with that? There's no doubt, there's no end for inspiration in what we do, I don't think, because it always seems like it's something new. You're talking to somebody new about something. It's for you, it's got to be in a very exciting job in a lot of cases, because you're above the scene, you're under the water. There's a lot of things that you have to have a creative mind to be able to do that. And what has been some of the exciting things that you've done? Like, oh, man, I didn't know that was going to work, or you were really happy when it came together?
Oh boy. Um, hmm. There's some interesting things we've learned out for last spring, for instance. We were in a shallow warm water bay, and there's actually a few Instagram clips up on Wired2Fish that we had captured and kind of put out there, but it was a big snapping turtle. Everything was kind of trying to warm up, and it was just the ice was not long gone. It was one of the first or second days of getting the boat into the water. So it was, ice out was not long before that. And there was a big old snapping turtle just sitting on the surface, hovering. And there was a bunch of, there between bluegills and crappies and bass, mainly bluegills and bass, kind of hanging around them. And there was actually a leech stuck to the bottom of the shell of that big snapping turtle, and there was old feisty bluegill just trying to tear off that leech on the bottom of that snapping turtle. So it's you never really know what you're going to see from a day-to-day basis. It's a matter of a lot of patience,
Sure,
because you're always trying to, whether you're trying to catch a fish or find the next big mother load of fish or whatever it is, just nature has a way of testing your patience.
sure.
And trying to be there at the right time, right place, capture that. I don't have anything particular off the top of my head that I can think of as far as.
I think that's a great story. I think it's a great story because that bluegill didn't know how close he really was to dying. So, because a snapping turtle like that could use him for lunch. One of the shots I really like, or the series of shots that I really like from you guys, is how the baits look underwater. And I always thought that was important because I always felt you're going to be a better fisherman if you know what your lures are doing. If you don't know what your lure's doing, and I'll say this in seminars a lot, if you don't know what your lures are doing, then you're not fishing, you're hoping for a bite. You're wasting your time. And so I think a lot of those videos, people could actually just go and watch even the lure videos on Wired2Fish, and you can see how lures react underwater. And the more you understand that as an angler, the better you can apply those tools to getting the job done. Let me ask you this, unless it's an inside trade secret, what is the best way for you to get a shot underwater? Because it seems so fluid. It doesn't seem like there's any. Was that an underwater drone, or is that you being the diver? How does that work?
Well, that's we've got a number of different ways we garner footage underwater. One being a drone. It's that's one of our probably best ways to capture either lures and or fish. You're talking about watching lures and everything underwater, and I couldn't agree more. That helps you, whether you want to buy that lure or fish that lure better, even whether it's around cover or not. But then even just watching fish underwater, you just get that a deeper understanding of what's going on. And so between those two, I mean, you could sit and watch underwaters for an hour.
Oh, easily.
Whether you're watching walleye or largemouth bass or smallmouth bass, you're gonna learn something from it
for sure.
So between, and like I said, between an underwater drone, even a GoPro on a cable, diving, it's a combination of all of them.
Yeah, and it basically just comes to whatever gets the shot, right? Right. And like you said, sometimes the best camera you had, we were talking just before the show, and you said sometimes the best camera you have is the one that's on and running. And that's true. I mean, I've caught GoPro stuff just because the camera was running. And but we're gonna
even a phone.
Right. And that's
even a phone, as long as it's handy.
And anymore, if with the attention span of people getting so short, how popular are 10-second video clips? It's like if it goes over 10 to 13 seconds, holy cow, sometimes they're onto something else.
it's amazing the world we live in right now.
And it's pretty goofy, that's for sure. Hey, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back, as I always say, as Chuck Wooler used to say, we'll be back in 2 and 2. We're gonna talk with Kyle some more stuff about Wired2Fish, and as always, I'm sure this is going to be fun and entertaining. We'll be back in 2 and 2. American Tackle is home to the award-winning microwave line control system. Rod blanks to reel seats, ferrules to finish, grips to guides. They're committed to the very best in rod building components. Find out more, americantackle.us. With fishing beyond your expectations, indoor and outdoor activities, a vast variety of places to eat, drink, and stay. Discover your next adventure between the bluffs. ExploreLaCrosse.com. Located in Springfield, Illinois' largest selection of sports and sportswear, hunting, fishing, specialty shops and services, a 65-foot Ferris wheel, 16,000-gallon saltwater aquarium, and industry-leading knowledgeable employees. You don't take chances at Shields, ever. Go to Shields.com. Believing quality is measured by lifespan and harnessing their unique chemistry and engineering know-how. Dakota Lithium lasts 4 times longer, powering your passion with an 11-year warranty. Find out more, DakotaLithium.com.
Slick Fish Radio with Jim Crowley can be seen and heard on Roku, Fire TV, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iTunes.
Come here. Get in here. Yeah, nice fish right there. Hi, I'm Jim Crowley. Make sure you catch my show, Jim Crowley Outdoors, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, exclusively on Wired2Fish TV. Look for Jim Crowley Outdoors on Wired2Fish TV on free, ad-supported streaming TV, including Plex, that can be downloaded in the App Store at Apple TV, Roku, Samsung, and others. Hey, we are back with Kyle Peterson of Wired2Fish. And Kyle, you sent me a picture with that freaking monster freak show of a lake trout on there. Where was that? I mean, that looked like a 45 or 50 pound fish. I've caught some big lake trout, but that thing was a freaking monster. Where was that from?
Oh, that was a Lake Superior specimen.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Being in northern Minnesota, it's not too far away. So that was something I kind of started dabbling in a little bit this summer.
Yeah.
Was going out there and messing around a little bit. I mean,
well, I think you had some success.
Yeah, it was great. It was pretty unbelievable. I did not think I would have the success that we had, but we did. Got lucky and put a real nice one in the boat.
Yeah, that was that a 45, 47 inch fish? How big was that?
No, it was not. It was pushing 40 inches.
You have a great camera guy then.
That was my wife.
She did a great job because that thing looked like a monster.
It was very big around.
Yeah.
It was very big around. Yeah.
That's cool.
So that helped.
Yeah, wives can be great camera people. Speaking of that, mine just chimed in. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, big supporter right there. She's upstairs. Hey, so what is, you guys have really branched out on Wired2Fish, and that's what I want to talk a little bit about, is into more of a multi-species thing. Obviously, the bass are very important, but it's nice seeing more things like bluegill and crappie, panfish of all type, walleyes and things like that. But again, that's going to lead to some more challenging things for you as well, because there's a lot more content that you have to be able to provide. How have you adapted to that the more you guys branch out?
Oh goodness. I think by nature and just deep down, I've always kind of had a curiosity just for fish growing up, whether it's a muskie or a bluegill. My wife will get annoyed with me when the bluegills start to run up shallow in the spring, because I can sit there like a little kid and just pick off bluegills and be happier than anything. So I don't think it's yes, bass, we love bass fish, largemouth, smallmouths, what you name it. But I've always just loved fishing. Right. It doesn't really matter, as freshwater fish. I mean, we've got little trout ponds around and streams and Lake Superior. between that and the little bit of musky fishing, my wife loves to go musky fishing.
That's cool.
Her family grew up going up to Lac Seul and
Awesome.
some of those other lakes like that. And I met her, and we like musky fishing. You like musky fishing? Yeah, we like. I don't. Okay, you're crazy, but okay.
Yeah, my wife loves to goose hunt, and so when you tell somebody, yeah, well, my wife loves. She what? I'm like, I'm serious, dude. My wife loves to goose hunt, and she's always said her two favorite words are bang and thud when the thing hits the ground, and she just absolutely. We got a whole bunch of people chumming on here. Hold on, Jim. Hi, Jim. Jim Sarsfield. Hey, how you doing? He said he just got back from Canada musky fishing. Good for you.
All right.
Yeah. So
I love it.
Yeah. And we several years ago we went up in October, froze my butt off, but it was one of the best musky trips we ever had. The colder you can go, it can be really, really fun stuff. What do you guys been working on as it goes into the fall now over at Wired2Fish? Is so you probably do you have a preset schedule like of things that are going next week, or just something comes up and you go do it? How do you guys do that? How does that content find its way to social media?
Oh gosh, that can vary from a number of reasons. Even just the weather dependent, or a lot of it has to do with, if maybe we have some new electronics that we're working with and trying to get some content with that, or even just lure manufacturers and figuring out a way to catch a fish on a certain bait, or the live imaging stuff has been such a hot topic lately that I'm just building off of that and just trying to learn different things off of electronics and we don't necessarily have a hard set schedule. It's very weather dependent for sure. For sure. Yeah.
That makes sense. I know I've seen some of the ones that always catches my attention when you guys have Dan Quinn from Rapple on there. Dan and I have known each other for a long, long time. And I've worked with Rapple for about probably 15, 16 years now. And, but I always like the lure explanations of stuff because, I know as consumers, a lot of anglers still go out and like, that's the prettiest lure. That's the newest, prettiest one. What I've always appreciated about Wired2Fish is that there is always explanation behind what the lure is. The lure is not effective because it's that lure. It's effective because of these reasons. Sure. And you guys explained that very, very well. I've never told anybody you got to go out and buy that lure because it's this lure. Here's what I use it for. I'm probably one of the most boring fishing shoppers there is, but it's like I need something to do specifically this, and then if they make it in black and blue or green pumpkin, I'll probably buy it.
Yep.
So right. So isn't that nuts? Isn't that stupid? It just, but all the colors out there, but I'm like, that's nice as long as they make it in green pumpkin and black and blue, and I'll probably buy it.
Kind of staples when it comes to largemouth.
Yeah, even sometimes with smally stuff, green pumpkin is going to work, right? No matter, you can throw all the fancy colors you want, but
I should say bass.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just like muskie sometimes with a black bucktail, or sometimes in the spring with like a fire tiger one or something like that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
A black bucktail. If you don't have that muskie fishing, you shouldn't even go out. It's just one of the things you got to have.
Black nickel. Jim Linder ingrained that one in my head. He said there's probably been more muskies caught on a black nickel bucktail than probably anything, which is probably true.
And him and Jeremy Smith would be two of the guys that would definitely know. That definitely know they've caught a muskie or two.
Yeah.
Yes, that is for sure. So hey, if somebody is living under a rock and they haven't got out from listening to us, just go into where can they find. It's really easy to find Wired2Fish, but tell them what you got.
Oh, well, it's our website. It's kind of just a how-to website on fishing tips for the masses. It's wired2fish.com. We're on all the social things as well. Instagram, Kobe runs a tight Instagram ship, and we got a channel on YouTube, of course, and all the content's there as well. And can't miss it.
No,
it's there.
No.
We do our best to get it out.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty easy. If you go to Google and just put Wired, that's what'll come up. It's Wired2Fish.
I mean, Wired2Fish. It'll pop up.
Yeah. It'll pop up rather quickly.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle, and I know you're looking forward to. Before we let you go, I got to say something about this. Even though this is obviously mostly an angling show, but Buddy Duck season is here.
It is.
We are
here.
We are.
It won't be long here before the divers start whistling too.
No! So yeah, we got to say sorry for you fishing guys, but yeah. So if you guys, I hope we don't see golden eyes that quick, man, because that can be we missed everything.
We're a month from that up here in northern Minnesota.
But I'm just telling you, if you're ever looking for an extra gun, I travel for ducks, dude. I'll bring the shells, I'll bring the hot coffee, and my wife will bake a pie or something. But I'm telling you, if it comes to bluebills or golden eyes or canvasbacks, give me a call. I would be more than happy to come up and shoot a couple with you.
I know of a few spots.
Do you? We're going to talk after the show. To heck with the audience. I'm going to give you a call after. No, dude, I really appreciate you being on, and thanks for your time tonight. You worked hard to get this set up to get on tonight, because I know you've been busy and on the road, and I really appreciate it. God bless you. Continued success in your future endeavors, and hopefully I'll run into you at ICAST or somewhere down the road. We seem to hang in some of the same circles, so hope to see you in person.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me on here.
All right, buddy. Take care of yourself. See ya.
Well, you do the same. Bye-bye.
What a great guy. And thank you, Kyle, again, for joining us. Wired2Fish, obviously, they're the best at it, man. They're great. And it's just nice this has been one of the best blessings working in the fishing industry all these years. And I think next year is going to be my 30th year, actually. And one of the biggest things is not just the fish, not just the destinations, but the people that you get to meet. And if you heard us say a little bit earlier, we're probably within about 1 or 2 people of knowing everybody, and that's true. There really are a lot of great people who work in the fishing industry, and I'm very happy to know some of the people from Wired2Fish, some of the people from Linder Media, who we talked about. Just really, really great people who work really, really hard at getting out, without question, some of the best content out there, if not the best content, so people can better understand fishing. There's so much information out there. There are more intelligent, educated anglers out there now than ever before. And to me, that makes a sport more fun. It makes it more challenging, and it makes it something that families can do as well as individuals. So don't put away the fishing rods just yet. This season has still got some life back in it, and I think this time of year is when you have a chance at catching some of the biggest fish of the year, no matter what you fish for, whether it be walleyes, whether it be bass, whether it be crappies. Had a great crappie day the other day with some monster crappies, muskies, largemouth, smallmouth. So this is a great time of year. But then if you're a crazy duck hunter like me and like Kyle, yeah, you start twitching and stuff like that, man. You just kind of got to go for that kind of stuff. So again, Wong just pocket. Love the show, Jim, and Wired2Fish is a great resource. Yes, they most certainly are. Mark Dyer said, not a lot of muskies in Nebraska. If we're to venture out of state, where would you recommend to fish for muskie? Great action and size. Well, Minnesota is really great, Mark, in my opinion. So is Wisconsin. They both got there's still some great places in Wisconsin, and some of the smaller bodies of water, you'd be surprised. But I'll tell you what, Mille Lacs is still, Mille Lacs has always got a special place in my heart for big smallmouth, good walleyes, and some big muskies. Green Bay is good. That can be challenging. You're doing a lot of trolling there, but there's some great guides in that area if you want to look them up and at least kind of get an idea of some of the places where you're going. But there's still a lot of great muskie fishing in the States. Don't just think that you have to go to Canada for it, although obviously that's a great destination to go to, but still a lot of great places here. Really enjoyed the variety of species they put on the show. Yes, I do too. Wired2Fish is really, really great about that. Hey, before I'm going to remind you guys again, next Thursday, right? Yeah, next Thursday, I'll be at the Riverside Fishing Club in LaGrange, Illinois. I think the time starts at 7:30. So if anybody's in the LaGrange, Illinois area, we're going to have a good time next week. It's always a great club. Great guys and ladies there. I always appreciate being invited back there. It's going to be fun. Also look for, what else was I going to tell you? I was going to tell you something else. Oh, yeah, we got those new products coming out from Lure Parts Online. And while I'm thinking about it, let's do this here. Let's go here. I want to give you guys, my friends at American Tackle also has some great stuff coming out, and a lot of the products are back in. Go to American Tackle Angler Products, put in the code JCO20, and you will get 20% off. And there's a lot of products there, man. There's always a lot of great sales at American Tackle. So make sure you check them out. Shields has actually got some great sales going on now as well. And I think Dakota Lithium's even been running some really, really good ads. Now's a good time of year to get stuff. And even if you're not going to finish out the season with it, then get it for next year. Like I said, I'll be in La Crosse, Wisconsin next week. We're going to work on having some fun with some big smallmouth, and maybe even some walleyes. They kind of hang out in the same place in the fall. So I'm kind of hoping maybe that we might bump into a few there, but we'll just see what happens. So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. That was a lot of fun. Kyle Peterson is just a great guy. I'm so thrilled that he took his time to come on the show. Busy guy, very creative, has a lot of stuff. And if you haven't checked out Wired2Fish, please do so, because they have a lot of great articles, I like places that teach. And we never stop learning. And until the last day that I'm able to make a cast, I will always keep learning. And all of us should be the same way. You're never too old or too good to learn something new each and every day. Until next time, my friends, I will see you. Have a great rest of the week. God bless you. Take care. We'll see you soon.